Hey guys, Colleen here, and on the bench today I have.
An original Ampeg B15N, otherwise known as the Portaflex.
Before we get into it, I just want to let you guys know our next amp building class is going to be in Los Angeles in March. I'll post more info here and in the link below. We are super close to selling this class out. If you missed this one, feel free to email me to get on our wait list. And we are currently planning a Chicago and New York class for the remainder of the year.
B15s are known for being bass amps, but guitar pairs quite well with the amp too. Oftentimes I'll see these come in with this panel cracked or even missing, so it's nice to see it intact. This is a 2-channel amp with the first channel offering inputs for guitar or bass. Each channel has volume, treble, and bass controls. The amp belonged to my client's uncle Barry. He was a musician who played in wedding and bar bands for years. He had a lot of great gear that my client inherited when he passed. This amp has been non-functioning for ages, but he always wanted to get it back up and running, so we are very excited to give this amp some new life. Under the cover, we have the main filter cap can and all of the tubes. There is no thrill quite like opening one of these up to find all of the original Ampeg branded Sylvania tubes. Let's hope we can leave most of these in. Just as I had hoped, the circuit is totally original as well. Ampeg was great about pasting a schematic inside of their amps, making service very accessible at the time. The amp came in for a refurbish. We already know the 2-prong cord has got to go. I will also be replacing the electrolytic capacitors, including the large main filter can, this Wile E. Coyote dynamite looking 600-volt capacitor, and this very crusty leaky bias capacitor. This is the original Ampeg branded CTS speaker, which is dated for the 28th week of 1966. I'll start by removing the power cord to clear a little space. And now I'll go ahead and remove the filter cap can. We can see that there's a little wire soldered directly from the capacitor lugs to the circuit board. I love how there are little access holes drilled into the circuit board to allow us to get to the mounting hardware. Now we're just hanging on by the ground wire, which I'll clip off. I'll remove the capacitor from the mounting wafer by just twisting off the tabs. The original cap can houses three 40 microfarad capacitors rated for 500 volts. My replacement can is rated for 525 volts and houses 4 caps, but I'll only be hooking up the 3. I find that it's easier to hook up the wires to the capacitor before I install it into the chassis. So here's the ground wire going on. That will hook up to the ground point here on the board. Next, I'll install the short little wires on the positive terminals. and the cap is ready to get installed. I'm just removing the old ground wire and I will run the new ground wire to the same point. While I'm right here, I'm going to remove the death cap. Now onto the rest of the electrolytics. This is a huge cap rated for 600 volts. It's a 30 microfarad cap, but I'm going to use this 20 microfarad sprayed capacitor that I have. This is the bias supply capacitor, and we can see it is very crusty and ready to go. It's important to replace the electrolytic caps in the power supply and bias supply because their role in the amp circuit is crucial. Lastly, we have this cathode bypass capacitor for V3, which is the phase inverter tube. Now that the bulk of the work is done, I will get the new power cord installed. The hot wire goes to this terminal here, which connects the hot wire to the fuse, and the fuse to the power switch. When the power switch is turned on, the hot wire and one of the power transformer primaries will be connected. The neutral wire connects to this terminal, which is connected to the other power transformer primary. For that strong ground connection, I like to solder directly to the chassis, which is a job for the big iron. The chassis, I scrape at it a bit with a flathead screwdriver. This will allow the solder to flow and form a durable electrical connection with the chassis ground. The last step here is to clean all the pots and jacks. And then to clean and tighten the tube sockets. I also like to take some time and resolder any connections that looks like it could be problematic. Now that it's time to fire up the amp, I'll plug it into the variac and bring the power up slowly. I'll monitor the current draw and make sure the amp is not pulling any excessive current. So I've had the amp running for a bit and I'm not hearing any problematic noises, humming, crackling, stuff like that. I am hearing that one of the 6SL7s is super microphonic and even causing some high-pitched ringing to enter the signal path. All of the other tubes are miraculously running strong, so looks like I'll just be replacing the V1 tube. Just a few finishing touches left to go. I noticed the schematic was coming loose, so I want to adhere that back down. The final step is to replace this handle. Ampeg used this funky hardware with clutch heads, so I dug out a clutch head driver bit for this part. Shout out to Pat Kaufman for reminding me what these were called. Now I'll get the amp buttoned up and we'll hear how it sounds with both bass and guitar.
All right, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.